What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. As always, I'm your co-host, Donovan Quick. And, the Dolphins just became the favorites to land Derrick Henry. And, I talked about in another video a while back that, Derrick Henry chose Tua over all the other Pro Bowl quarterbacks this year it was a little camping thing. So, but it still meant something. Like, hey, that's still my guy. They have that Bama connection. I don't think they were there at the same time, but they still have that Bama connection. And what is the main thing missing from the Dolphins, run game or offense in general? And that's physicality. And that's exactly what Derrick Henry brings. And Jacob talked about it in another video with all these free agent running backs that are not being tagged like they were last year. Saquon, Josh Jacobs, Derrick Henry, Austin Eckler, all those guys. And obviously, I think of all of them, Saquon is the most talented, but Derrick Henry is by far the most physical runner out of everybody there. And he can still take it out of the backfield, cut it to the outside if necessary. That's not necessarily his thing. But if he wants to chase a ring, he already got a bag. There's only so much he has left in the tank, as he is a guy that gets 20, 30 carries a game for the Titans over the past 5, 6, 7 years. So how much does he really have left in the tank? How much physicality can he really just keep putting out there? And we saw, he hasn't really been the same guy since his foot injury a couple years ago. So, I'm still gonna talk myself into this, because the style of offense that he is in, it's kind of like an under center thing. Under center, I formation, just run it down your freaking throats. And if we can get Connor Williams back, whenever he's healthy, it looks like he's probably gonna sit out the beginning of free agency while he rehabs, see where he's at with his rehabilitation, and maybe sign somewhere after that. But with that being said, we need someone to just be physical down the middle and force these linebackers down, because right now the main thing in our offense is that whenever we have our runners, they're not really physical guys. So when we run it up the middle, the linebackers don't necessarily have to come down, or they can still stay back at the beginning of the snap and then come down after that. The linebackers try to stay back because of the outside runs. They stay back in zone for the passing because we like to throw it over the middle so much. So we need to be able to do something that draws these linebackers down and keeps them humble, because that is what's going to make this offense be much more successful against great defenses. Against mid-tier defenses and bad defenses, this offense looks absolutely elite. But then when it comes against the Chiefs, when it goes against the Ravens, it's just the Bills. It kind of just stalls out because the linebackers don't have to be humble. They can send the blitz, and our interior gets folded like a lawn chair. Given our interior was extremely beat up last year. Isaiah Wynn out for the year, Connor Williams out for the year, and Robert Hunt missed so many games. But regardless of that, your backups should still do well enough. And Tua still put up numbers. But there's only so much he can do when you don't have time to read the field. So you have to go to your first read, and you have to go to where the play call is. And that's harder on the play caller as well. And I love to give Mike McDaniel a whole bunch of shit for his play calling this past season. And, some of it is deserved, some of it's not. Now that I'm dialed back a little bit, I get to look at the season from a wider angle, not so focused on, a couple of games. And I get to really see why what happened. And all that being said, I think Derrick Henry could be the missing little puzzle piece. And as a Devon Achane Dynasty Fantasy Football owner, I don't want Derrick Henry to come here. But as a Dolphin fan, if the money makes sense, if he's willing to take $6 million with incentives to bring him here, on the 1 yard line, you're telling me, or 3rd and 1, like we things that we've been struggling with for the past couple seasons, and actually really since Jai left, but being able to on 3rd and 1 or 4th and 1 or 1st and goal on the 1 yard line to be able to get that 1 or 2 yards that you absolutely need. I want that because Jeff Wilson, look, he's a physical runner, but he's not all that. Like he's our physical runner. Chris Brooks, we saw, for reasons that, he's not really going to, he has the size, he has the speed, but we saw that, he doesn't necessarily have the vision that Derrick Henry has. He doesn't have the patience necessarily either. So you kind of look at it from a wider angle, and it's like, okay, maybe Derrick Henry here for a year, he could teach Chris Brooks a little something. Chris Brooks, maybe he turns into something good. Maybe he goes to the practice squad next year. Who knows? But we have Achane, we have Mostert. Why not have Derrick Henry have a 3-headed backfield? Like we had Mercury Morris and Larry Zonka, and who was the third running back in that group? And it was a 3-headed monster. Why not? We need that physical guy that, and Mostert, he's often injured. Achane missed 4 or 5. No, actually, no, he missed like 7 or 8 games last year. He missed 5 because of the knee injury, and I think he missed the first couple because of a shoulder injury. And then he came back against the Broncos, I think it was, or was it the week before? It was the week before that, but he barely got any touches. So it was the Broncos was his first real showing. And yeah, it's just, man, I want to see what this offense can do when we're able to keep the linebackers humble. And that's just one thing I think that Derrick Henry can help with. If the money makes sense. And it seems to be that Chris Greer's fairly confident in having that money this offseason, because he said at the combine that, look, if we have to tag Christian Wilkins, we'll have the money for it. So that tells me that they will have $20 million to give Christian Wilkins. Now, if he gets that extension rather than the franchise tag, then he'll probably make like 11 or 12 million this year. Then the signing bonus will kind of make up for, what he's not making this year. And then kick the rest down the track. Chris Greer has been really good about money. He's a financial wizard, in my opinion. I don't care what the rest of y'all have to say about that. But so if we are able to extend Christian Wilkins and save that, $10 million, why not give it to Mr. Derrick Henry? I'm just saying. We're the favorites for a reason. He wants to be here. He has the connection to Tua. He has the connection to Waddle. Why not? Why not? And Tannehill actually has a good relationship with Stephen Ross. Tannehill has a really good relationship with Derrick Henry. Who knows if maybe he's like, yo, like maybe that is a good spot for you. I love playing down there for my 7 years there. Maybe that is something that Derrick Henry and Tannehill talk about. Who knows? Maybe I'm looking too deep into this. Probably. But wish lists. That is my wish list. I want Derrick Henry. It'll suck for fantasy football for me, but who can say no to Derrick Henry? Honestly. Tell me in the comments below. Deuces.